This is episode 6 of a Radiance Revival podcast, and today we're talking about life coaching. You are listening to a Radiance Revival podcast where we rebirth and unearth your inner brilliance by focusing on love, energy, and freedom. I am your host, coach, and brilliance believer, Catherine Sogard. In this podcast, you will learn that you are your biggest advocate, fan, and creator of your own destiny by using the radiance you were born with. When you are empowered to use this inner brilliance, you can create your best life. So let's get this Radiance Revival started. So I've been dying to do this podcast because I get this question all the time. And in fact, when I tell people I'm a life coach, I, no joke, have gotten people that have laughed in my face. I mean, like laughed to my face when I've told them what my career is. And so I thought this is a good time to take you guys through what a life coach does and more specifically what I do, because life coaches, there are a lot of us out there. There's a lot of different focuses that life coaches take. There's a lot of different qualifications for life coaches. There's just a ton of stuff. So just because this is the way that I do it does not mean that that's how all life coaches do. It's just like life. We all do things a little differently. So this is kind of what I do specifically with my business and my clients. As you heard in the intro, I tend to focus on love and energy and freedom and how you spend your time and how you're able to develop, to bring more love into your life, how you are to develop your energy in life, and how you are able to create a world and a life that you can experience the freedom that you want to experience. Typically, I work with clients one-on-one, but I have developed a couple of group coaching programs, and the investment kind of differs between which type of program you're wanting to work with. So there's that. And the next thing is I typically adapt the programming to those participants in the group or to that person one-on-one. So first off, before we ever even talk about money or the investment that it will be, I have all of my potential clients go through kind of a checklist and go through a pre-screening, I guess that's the best way to call it, to see where they're at and to make sure that I'm a good fit with my clients. And I think if you're looking for a life coach, whether that be with me or with someone else, the most important thing is making sure that you're a good fit with them and kind of laying out your expectations as a client and having the coach lay out their expectations of you as a client, because that's really how you're going to be successful, by making sure that you're a good fit together. So after I do that and we've kind of identified that the client feels comfortable with me and I feel like they are taking on challenges in their life that I can really help them with, we will move forward in identifying a program that will work best for them, work best for their budget, work best for us as a unit working together. And if I come to the understanding, or they come to the understanding that we might not be the best fit, that's when I give some recommendations on what I think where they should go to next, whether that be sometimes, there are some issues that people really need to deal with a licensed therapist, or they might just be a better fit with a different life coach. And that's where I can give some recommendations on maybe steps to take after this. So the one thing I do want to make clear is life coaching is not a substitute for therapy. And in my opinion, therapy is super important, and it's different than life coaching. It's not the same thing. Although they are not the same thing, life coaching can be therapeutic. But a lot of the focus around life coaching is how to develop habits, initiate habits going forward in your life to get the results that you want, or how to identify old habits that you need to remove. Another point that a lot of life coaches work with is the accountability. And that's why I feel like life coaching is super beneficial for everyone, because we all can use someone who is going to kick our butt when our butt needs to be kicked, but can also coach us through and motivate us to keep on track as opposed to just cracking the whip all the time. So to be clear, life coaching is not a substitute for therapy. All right, so my design for my coaching, it uses what I call my felt focus, FELT, and that is freedom, energy, love, and time. And all of my coaching is based around those principles. Everybody, truly one of the one major desires of people in their life is freedom. The next desire is love. One thing that I am superior at is helping people develop the energy that they need to get the life that they want. And also, and another major part of my coaching is how to use your time, or how to identify how you're using your time currently. Because I think a lot of people could benefit, not even really time management, use of time management, but just identifying how you're currently using your time and how impactful and how much you can actually change your life by just really adjusting your focus on how your time is spent. My coaching programs and my one-on-one coaching uses that felt focus method to really get you the life that you want, and more importantly, the life that you deserve. So once myself and the client have identified that we're going to work together, we go through paperwork, we go through payment and all that good stuff, and then we get on to the good stuff. So in the first few weeks that I work with a client, we take some time to look at exercises that focus on what current habits do you have? What habits do we need to create in your life that will get you to the places that you want? So obviously we in that preliminary stage, we also talk about goals and how you want your life to be different and what types of things would you like to see come to fruition in your life. And so that first week, we really focus on what habits do I have now that really aren't serving me, that I'm wasting my time on, that I'm wasting my energy on, that aren't getting me the freedom that I want, and that are definitely not getting the self-love or the love from others that I'm looking for. And then after that, we focus on confidence. We focus on self-reliance and self-relevance. We focus on how falling forward and failing is a part of the process. We focus on building your radiance revival and really just seeing all the amazing qualities that you currently have that you aren't bringing forward to let your light shine in the world. And then we take a look at where we can build relationships, and not just building relationships with others, but also building and strengthening relationships with yourself. And that is the first real dive in to my felt focus. Now, with my long-term clients, we spend a lot of time on that first portion, which I like to call the persistent pursuit, because it's not, life coaching is not something that you can get and all your solutions are over. It's a process. It's like exercise. And I think that's why life coaching was so intriguing and relevant in my life is I came from a background of fitness, and fitness coaching and group fitness coaching, and I did some one-on-one personal training, and I have a degree in exercise science. And exercise and health is something that it's a continual process. It's not like I can do all this exercise and I'm going to have a six-pack and I get to keep that six-pack and I never have to do anything ever again. It's a persistent pursuit. You're always pursuing health. It's a never ending journey, which is kind of cool because that's where all that habits and confidence and failing and falling forward and, building your own, tools to go forward. Because ultimately my goal is not to be your life coach forever. I mean, ultimately it's developing a foundation that you can take and move forward. So the life coaching, eventually you become your own life coach. That's my ultimate goal. I don't want to keep taking money from you forever. I want it to be a continual process, but I want to give you and help you build a foundation for your own life that you can take forward and make the life of your dreams. So the next, when I continue to work, that's really the first 8 weeks. And usually I do my coaching in an 8-week process. And if you continue to utilize me as a coach, we dive into confidence. We dive into focusing on the power that you were born with. We dive into self-love and passion and identifying your purpose and where you're spending your time again. And looking at your relationship with self, because if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, it's really hard for you to develop strong, meaningful, and loving relationships with other people. And then we focus on what steps to take in the future to continue your brilliance, to continue to let your light shine, to continue your radiance out so you can do the things that you want, so you can have freedom, so you can have love, so you can have energy, and you have ample time to get all that done, and then more time to do whatever else you want to do with your life. So as we go through all of these things and identifying all of these things, I have a toolbox which comes from skills that I developed through my coaching certification and skills that I've developed that are inspired by clients that I've had over the years, and also some skills that I've developed listening to other life coaches, because I'm never done growing and I'm never done creating a better experience for my clients. And I think that's what really drives me, is becoming better so that I can get better results with the clients that I work with. What other questions do I get as a life coach? Well, one is like, what does it look like? Like, how much time does this take? So like I mentioned before, normally I do my sessions, especially one-on-ones, in 8-week intervals. You know, you hire me for 8 weeks and we go through 8 weeks. So during that 8 weeks, I do a hour call weekly with you, and then we do a few check-in calls that might be 15 minutes throughout the week if you're needing them. And those are kind of at your own discretion and at your own availability. When I have worked with life coaches, I haven't always needed that extra 15 minutes check-in, but I think it's nice to know that you have the opportunity to reach out. I've also worked with life coaches that don't, like, they're like, okay, I'm going to schedule you for your hour once a week, and that's all. You can send me emails and check in that way, but like, I'm not available any other time. And I think that's unrealistic. To me, I want to be available for you when a question pops up in your head. I want you to be able to know that you can reach out to me and we can sit down and have a conversation. With that being said, you know, obviously there will be times when I'm unavailable, either working with other clients or I do have an additional job that I have to attend. So, you know, some of that is you have to be a little bit flexible. And that's why we go through a lot of that pre-screening to make sure that we're a perfect fit. And we go over all of that in the pre-screening to make sure that I'm a perfect fit for you. Because again, I truly believe if you start off and you don't figure out that you're a perfect fit with your coach, results are going to be more difficult for you. Communication can be more difficult. And so I think that's a really important process, regardless if you hire, even when you hire any professional, whether that's a life coach or a professional trainer or a doctor or a dentist or any of that, you should, you know, do a little bit of research ahead of time and make sure that you are a good fit with them and they're a good fit with you. I think that's really important. Another question I get a lot of the time is, will I have homework? And the answer is yes. Hopefully it's the kind of homework that you want to do. Hopefully it's the kind of thing that you want to take some time to invest a little bit more time in. So overall, the amount of time in a week that you would spend working with me as your life coach is probably about 2 to 4 hours, anywhere in there. And that's including all of our check-in calls. That's including our weekly hour call. That's including the homework projects that we go over and the tasks that we kind of review, and journaling and meditation and all of that good stuff. And one of the last questions, well, not really a question, it's more of a statement. If you're going to be hiring a life coach, it is important to understand that hiring a life coach is an investment, not only a financial investment, but also a time investment. And if you are just looking to get the perfect results and have